My wife laughed in front of everyone and said, "Imagine settling for him." I really downgraded. I smiled and replied, "Congratulations. You're upgraded now to single." I left quietly. 1 hour later, when she saw who had already removed her access from everything, she stopped breathing for a second. I'm David, 33, and I learned that sometimes the person you build a life with sees that life as beneath them. This is about the dinner party where my wife publicly declared I wasn't good enough, and the 60 minutes it took me to show her exactly what she'd just lost. I'd been married to Claire for 6 years. We met when I was 26, got married at 27, bought a house together at 29. I worked in cybersecurity consulting, made good money, had a stable career. Claire worked in interior design, ran her own small firm. On paper, we were a successful young couple. In reality, I was married to someone who'd spent the last 2 years resenting me for reasons I couldn't quite pin down. The resentment started subtle. Comments about my clothes, my car, my choice of restaurants. "Is this really where you want to take me? You know other husbands in our circle drive better cars. Maybe you should think about a more prestigious company." Each comment individually seemed like nothing. Collectively, they built a narrative that I was somehow failing her expectations. 3 weeks ago, we were invited to a dinner party at her college friend Melissa's house. One of those gatherings where everyone dresses up and pretends their lives are more interesting than they are. Couples standing around with wine glasses, talking about renovations and vacation plans and whose kids got into which preschool. I didn't want to go. I never wanted to go to these things. But Claire insisted. "It's important for my business. These people are potential clients. You need to make an effort." So I went, put on the blazer she'd picked out, drove us there, prepared myself for 3 hours of forced conversation with people I barely knew. The evening started normally. Awkward small talk, overpriced wine, stories about real estate investments, and European vacations. I stood next to Claire, playing my role as the supportive husband, nodding at appropriate times. Around 8 p.m., we were in Melissa's living room. About 8 couples total, everyone clustered in conversation groups. Claire had been drinking steadily, was on her 3rd glass of wine. She was talking to 2 other women about relationships, about compromise, about settling down. Then one of them asked, "Claire, how did you know David was the one?" Claire laughed. Not a nice laugh. A dismissive, almost mocking laugh. "Oh, he wasn't the one. I just ran out of time and options." The group got quiet. I was standing maybe 5 feet away, close enough to hear every word. One of the women looked uncomfortable. "That's a joke, right?" "Half joke," Claire said, taking another sip of wine. "I mean, I love him obviously. But let's be real. Imagine settling for him when I could have waited for someone with more ambition." I really downgraded. The room wasn't just quiet anymore. It was silent. Everyone had heard. Everyone was looking at either Claire or me, trying to figure out if this was some weird couple's banter or an actual public humiliation. I felt something very cold settle into my chest. Not anger yet, just crystalline clarity. I walked over to Claire, smiled politely at the group, spoke in the calmest voice I could manage. "Congratulations. You're upgraded now to single." Claire blinked. "What? You heard me. We're done. Enjoy your evening." I walked out of that house without looking back, got in my car, drove home, and spent the next hour doing what I do best, systematically removing someone's access to everything. Started with the bank accounts. We had a joint checking account that I'd set up and funded primarily from my salary. I transferred my money to a new account, closed the joint one. Took 15 minutes. Then the credit cards. We had 2 cards in both our names. I called and had her removed as an authorized user. Another 10 minutes. Changed all my passwords. Email, social media, streaming services, everything. Enabled 2-factor authentication on everything she might try to access. 15 more minutes. Called my lawyer. Left a voicemail explaining the situation, said I'd be filing for divorce Monday morning, needed to schedule a consultation ASAP. Then I did something that would have the most immediate impact. I canceled her access to our home security system, changed the code, and scheduled the locks to be changed first thing Saturday morning. Finally, I transferred the car registration. The vehicle she drove was titled in my name only, something we'd done for insurance reasons. I reported it as no longer in her possession, effectively invalidating her ability to drive it legally. All of this took 57 minutes. Then I sat down on the couch and waited. Update 1. Claire came home at 10:47 p.m. I heard her car in the driveway, Heard her trying her key in the front door. It didn't work. I'd already had the smart lock code changed remotely. She knocked, then pounded. David, open the door. I opened it. Stood in the doorway, blocking her entry. What the hell is this? She demanded. Why doesn't my key work? Because you don't live here anymore. This is my house. Check the deed. It's in my name. I bought it before we got married. You have no legal claim to it. Her face went from angry to confused to panicked in about 3 seconds. You can't just lock me out. I can and I did. You said you downgraded by marrying me. Consider this an upgrade. You're now free to find someone who meets your standards. David, I was drunk. I didn't mean it like that. You meant exactly what you said. You've been saying versions of it for 2 years. Tonight you just said it in front of witnesses. Where am I supposed to go? Call Melissa. Call your parents. Call one of those impressive men you should have waited for. I don't care where you go, but you're not coming in here. She pulled out her phone, tried to open the banking app. Her face went white. What did you do to the bank account? Separated our finances. You no longer have access to my money. Our money. My money that I earned and deposited. You have access to your own accounts. You just don't have access to mine anymore. She started shaking. You can't do this. We're married. Not for much longer. I'm filing for divorce Monday. Over one comment. You're ending our marriage over one stupid comment. I'm ending our marriage because you publicly humiliated me and revealed what you actually think of me. The comment was just the excuse I needed to stop pretending this was working. She tried the credit card app next. Same result. I watched her face cycle through disbelief, panic, and rage. You've locked me out of everything. Correct. Including the car? Especially the car. It's titled in my name. You're no longer an authorized driver. How am I supposed to get anywhere? That's no longer my problem. She stood there on the porch, phone in hand, realizing the full scope of what had just happened. In less than an hour, I'd systematically removed her access to our entire shared life. This is financial abuse, she said finally. No, this is financial separation. You said you downgraded by marrying me. I'm giving you the opportunity to upgrade by leaving me. I'm even doing you the favor of making it quick and clean. People are going to think you're a monster. People heard you call marrying me a downgrade. I'm fine with them knowing I responded by leaving immediately. She tried one more angle. I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry. I was drunk and stupid and I said something I didn't mean. Can we please just talk about this inside? No. David, please. We've been together for 8 years. We've built a life together. You're going to throw that away over one bad moment. You threw it away when you said those words. I'm just handling the logistics. Her friend Melissa pulled up then, probably called by someone from the party. Melissa got out of her car and rushed over. Claire, are you okay? He's locked me out of everything. The house, the accounts, the car, everything. Melissa looked at me. David, this is extreme. Can you guys please just talk this through? There's nothing to talk through. She made her feelings clear. I'm respecting those feelings by leaving. She was drunk. Drunk words are sober thoughts. She's been feeling this way for a long time. Tonight she just finally said it out loud. Melissa helped Claire into her car. As they drove away, Claire was crying. I felt nothing. Just cold, practical clarity. Update 2. The next few days were chaos. Claire tried calling, texting, showing up at my workplace. I blocked her number, had security escort her out of my office building, communicated only through my lawyer. Her parents called. I didn't answer. Her friends tried to intervene. I told them all the same thing. Ask Claire what she said at the dinner party. Then ask yourselves if you'd stay married to someone who said that about you. Most of the people who'd been at that party had already heard what happened. The story spread quickly. Opinions were divided. Half thought I'd overreacted. Half thought Claire got what she deserved. I didn't care about either opinion. I just wanted the divorce finalized. Monday morning, my lawyer filed the paperwork. Claire contested it initially, tried to claim we could work things out. But when my lawyer presented a statement from 3 witnesses who'd heard what she said at the party, including a written statement from Melissa's husband, Claire's position weakened significantly. The divorce proceedings revealed some interesting financial facts. Claire had been spending far beyond her income for the past 2 years. Credit cards I didn't know about, store accounts, personal loans. She'd been funding a lifestyle she couldn't afford, probably trying to keep up with her wealthier friends. She'd also been actively hiding her business struggles from me. Her interior design firm was failing. She had 2 clients left and mounting debts. The confident, successful businesswoman image she projected was a facade maintained through credit and delusion. During one of the few in-person meetings our lawyers required, Claire finally admitted the truth. "I was ashamed," she said. "My business was failing, my friends were all doing better than me, and I took it out on you. I made you feel small because I felt small. So you tore me down to make yourself feel better. I'm not saying it was right. I'm saying I was desperate and scared and I handled it badly. You didn't handle it badly. You verbally abused me for 2 years and then publicly humiliated me. I know I did. And I'm sorry. But does that really mean we have to destroy everything? You destroyed it the moment you said those words. I'm just making sure the destruction is complete." Final update. The divorce finalized 4 months after that dinner party. Claire got almost nothing. The house was mine, bought before marriage. The accounts were separated. She got her portion of marital assets, which amounted to about $15,000 after her debts were settled. She had to move back in with her parents. Her business officially closed 3 weeks after I left. The friends who'd been at that party, the ones she'd been trying so hard to impress, mostly stopped talking to her. Turns out publicly trashing your spouse is a social liability. I sold the house. Too many memories. Bought a condo downtown, closer to work. Started over completely. New place, new routines, new life. Claire tried to reach out one more time about 6 months after everything finalized. Long email about regrets and therapy and personal growth. How she understood now what she'd done wrong. How she wished she could take it back. I read it once. Deleted it. Didn't respond. The thing about being told you're a downgrade is that it changes how you see everything. Every nice thing I'd done, every compromise I'd made, every moment I'd been a good husband, she'd been storing resentment the whole time, building a case in her mind for why I wasn't enough. That one sentence at the party was the truth. Everything else had been the performance. So when I removed her access to everything in 57 minutes, I wasn't being vindictive. I was being efficient. She'd already left the marriage emotionally. I was just handling the paperwork. People said I moved too fast, that I didn't give her a chance to explain. But she'd explained perfectly, in front of witnesses, with alcohol removing her filter and revealing what she actually thought. You don't come back from that. You don't fix a marriage where one person openly declares they settled and downgraded. You just end it as cleanly and quickly as possible. So that's what I did. And when she saw everything disappear in under an hour, when she realized I'd systematically removed her from every shared aspect of our life, she stopped breathing for a second. Not out of surprise, out of recognition. She finally understood that the man she'd been calling a downgrade had the power, knowledge, and decisiveness to dismantle her entire life in less time than it takes to watch a TV show. She wanted an upgrade. She got one. She got upgraded to single, broke, and publicly humiliated by her own words. And I got upgraded to free. Edit. Some people have asked if I feel bad about how quickly I acted. No. She had 2 years to stop treating me like I wasn't good enough. She had 8 years to decide if she wanted to be married to me. She made her choice at that dinner party. I just made mine faster. Edit 2. For those wondering, yes, everything I did was legal. I consulted with my lawyer before finalizing any financial separations. The house was solely in my name. The accounts were joint, but I had every right to protect my assets once I decided to divorce. Nothing I did violated any laws or court orders.